Support for Sports Page is provided by the University Store. The University Store is the official headquarters for Mules and Jenny's emblem clothing, gifts, and UCM memorabilia. Books, office supplies, art supplies, and more are available at the University Store, located on the lower level of the Elliott Union on the UCM campus in Warrensburg. And promotional support for Sports Page is provided by 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of University of Central Missouri Athletics.
The University of Central Missouri Mules wrestling squad crowned a conference champion.
A UCM athletics administrator was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame.
And the Mules and Jenny's basketball teams are set to enter the last week of the regular season.
We'll have those stories plus updates on all our spring sports, a look at news and notes from around UCM athletics, and a whole lot more on this week's edition of Sports Page.
Welcome back to Sports Page on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. I'm Benjamin Eaton.
I'm Brianna Blocker.
And I'm Jason Ketz. The Mules wrestling squad hosted the 2015 MIAA Championships on Sunday. Our Adrian Columbus has the story.
The University of Central Missouri finished 5th as a team with 28 points at the MIAA Wrestling Championships on Sunday at the Multipurpose Building. Archie Williams claimed the individual championship at 174 pounds, while DeQuince Goodman took 3rd at 285 pounds. Malachi Collins at 125 and Josh Thompson at 165 both finished 4th. We spoke with Archie Williams about the move that won him the match.
Well, the move is actually called a super duck. I don't try it too much, but it's just a lot of people, so try to keep the crowd happy.
Williams beat Colton Gallo of Central Oklahoma for the 2nd time this season with a 15-4 major decision in the championship semifinals. In the finals, Williams gave up a late takedown against number 7 Josh Rodriguez of Fort Hays State. But Williams sent the match to overtime with an escape. He claimed first place with a takedown seconds into the extra period. Goodman lost his first match of the day to number 5 Jack Page of Fort Hays State, but did not lose again for the rest of the tournament. After a bye in the consolation quarterfinals, Goodman beat Ivan DeLeon of Nebraska-Kearney with a 7-4 decision to advance to the 3rd place match. Goodman had a pin at 409 against Kyle Factor of Central Oklahoma to finish 3rd in the MIAA. After finishing strong at the MIAA Wrestling Championships, next up for the Mules is the NCAA Division II Super Regional. There, defending national champion Frank Cagnina will return to the mat.
I'm ready to go, you know. I kind of like watching this. I was getting a little antsy, but yeah, I'm ready to go, you know, feel good. Just got to get my weight down and I'll be ready to go.
I'm Adrian Columbus for Sports Page.
Congratulations to Archie Williams and good luck to all the Mules who will be competing in the Super Regional. Now we turn our attention to the hardwood, where the Mules and Jennies are in the stretch run to the conference tournament. Last week, the Mules picked up a pair of wins at Lincoln and over Lindenwood to remain in first place in the conference. Wednesday, the Mules traveled to Jefferson City and got a 67-47 win thanks to a balanced offensive effort. We pick up the action in the first half as Jordan Epps gets the steal, dishes it to TJ White for the score, and a 12-9 UCM lead. Epps rushed the lead to 6 with this three-pointer, and the Mules led 15-9. The offensive kept churning for UCM, and Brennan Hughes and Kyle Wolf worked that inside-outside game to perfection in a 13-point lead. Preston Bruns with the three-pointer, making it 29-12. Mules with 5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Mules never looked back in the second half. Hughes continued to demonstrate strong inside play, giving the Mules a 41-22 advantage. Great ball movement by the Mules. Rakeem Dickerson to Dylan Deck to TJ White. Beautiful find, and UCM had a 26-point lead. Next up for the Mules was MIAA foe Lindenwood University. UCM and the Lions faced off last Saturday at the Multipurpose Building. The Mules needed a win in this Valentine's Day matchup to remain #1 in the MIAA. Denying any type of love to the Lions, the Mules never trailed in the game. UCM started off hot on offense, but it was their defense that stood out. the Mules caused Lindenwood to miss its first 8 shots, forcing Lindenwood to remain scoreless until the 12:32 mark. Not much changed throughout the first half, while the Mules kept the pace with their defensive pressure, holding a 24-14 advantage at half. Lindenwood only shot 26% on 6 of 23 shooting. In the second half, the Mules got up by as much as 13 points and withstood a late run by the Lions. Preston Bruns threw in 10 points and knocked down 2 3-pointers. TJ White had a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. And Brendan Hughes had 9 points with 11 rebounds. But it was the arena electrifying dunk that everyone went home talking about. Absolutely put his poor defender on a poster. After Lindenwood got hot from three-point range, in the closing minute, Rakeem Dickerson knocked down 2 free throws to ice the game. Final score, UCM 58, Lindenwood 53. With the win, the Mules stand alone atop the MIAA, riding a 5-game win streak. Mules head basketball coach Doug Colskin said he was thrilled with his team's perimeter defense, especially considering Lindenwood's 3-point power.
Yeah, you know, it was good for us to get out and contest those shots, and you know, you don't want a team like that to see a couple fall early. And I thought we did a great job running them off their screens, contested every single shot. You know, I thought that they probably settled in the half court some, but I thought we did a great job just getting them frustrated and keeping them off the boards, where a team like that, they get the offensive rebound, then you got to guard it again for another 25, 30 seconds. And just really proud of our effort and our team, just for toughness. We told the guys that, you know, the toughest team is going to win today, and I thought we were really tough.
The UCM Jennies also squared off against Lincoln and Lindenwood last week. While the Mules were looking to hold on to the top spot in the conference, the Jennies were battling to climb in the league standings. The Jennies got off to a fast start against Lincoln and never looked back. 6 minutes into the game with the shot clock winding down, Ravonia Howard hits the jumper and it's 10-4 UCM. Justina Prairie-Cheek with the 3-pointers, and the Jennies have a 15-7 advantage. It was that kind of balanced offense that paced the Jennies throughout the game. 8 minutes to halftime, and Taylor Wicks finds Danielle Berry. Lincoln still isn't in double digits, and the Jennies pushed their lead to 22-9. UCM kept the hammer down in the second half. Jasmine Thompson drops a 3-pointer to make it 41-29 Jennies, and the Thompson again for a 49-38 UCM lead. Howard getting some of the Jennies 36 points in the paint. Final score, Central Missouri 78, Lincoln 63. The Jennies ran their win streak to 4 when they rode to a 72-55 win over Lindenwood. Taylor Wicks had the hot hand for UCM. She led the Jennies with 16 points, 1 point short of a career high. She drained 6 of 10 shots from the floor, including 4 of 7 from the 3-point range. The Jennies got off to a fast start, scoring 9 of the game's first 11 points. Their lead reached double digits at 14-3 within the first 5:28 of the game. The Jennies began to pull away from Lindenwood with the 8 straight points to take a 22-3 advantage. And the rout was on. The Lady Lions cut the lead to 33-21 at the 1:33 mark of the first half. But that's as close as they get. Central Missouri got 15 of their 32 bench points in the first half, and the Jennies outscored Lindenwood 16-2 in the paint. UCM went on a 16-5 run to the open in second half. That run gave the Jennies their largest lead of the game at 21 points. 49-28 with the 12:18 left in the contest. Seniors Jasmine Thompson and Ravonia Howard scored 13 and 10 points, respectively. UCM has won 8 of 10 matchups against Lindenwood in the all-time series. Given the rigors of the season, Jennies head coach Dave Slifer said his team is going to back off a little this week in preparation for the stretch run.
Well, we're going to take tomorrow and Monday off, lift a little weights Monday, and then go back and hit it hard Tuesday, and short practice on Wednesday. I think there's something going on the multi or something, so we got an hour practice over at Garrison, which is all right. I think the kids will be excited about that. They don't know about that yet, but they'll be excited. Only an hour practice, and sometimes you can get more done in those hour practices than sometimes if you go for 2.5 hours, where you just go intense, quick, you know, work up a good sweat, get the ball guarded a little bit.
Should be an exciting finish for the Mules and Jennies. Good luck to both teams.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about how our other teams have performed this past week. And we'll tell you about the exciting honor one of our athletics administrators received recently. You're watching Sports Page on KMOS-TV Missouri PBS.
I choose excitement.
I choose to make a difference.
I choose uncommon opportunities.
I choose Red to experience learning to a greater degree.
Choose Red. Choose the University of Central Missouri.
What if television could remember the heroes we honored, the music we danced to, the dreams we chased?
The hope still lives and the dream shall never die.
No one tells our nation's story like PBS. Give to your PBS station and help bring America's story to life.
Welcome back to Sports Page. Basketball and wrestling weren't the only sports in action last week at Central Missouri.
Bowling, indoor track and field, baseball, and softball also were in action. All were on the road.
It was a busy week and we have all the scores. Let's get you caught up. The 4th-ranked Jenny's bowling team went 2-1 on the final day of competition at the Stephen F. Austin Stormin' Lady Jack Classic. UCM finished 9-2 overall with the 5th highest total pins at 12,043. The Jennies dropped their first match of the day, 4-2 to Vanderbilt. UCM responded with the 4-1 win over Wisconsin Whitewater to advance to the 5th place match against Sam Houston State. The Jennies beat the Bearcats 4-1 to claim 5th place in the tournament. Jordan Richard finished 5th individually for the Jennies with a 215.5 average. The Mules and Jennies track and field had a pair of winners in 3 events and saw 2 school records broken at the Grand Valley Big Meet last Friday in Allendale, Michigan. Kellen Locke had a hand in the breaking of both school records. First, in the 800-meter run, Locke crossed the line in 1 minute, 49.84 seconds. That time hits an NCAA provisional qualifying mark and leads the MIAA. Locke wasn't finished, though, as he anchored the 4x400-meter relay team to a school record-breaking performance. The squad of Osvaldo Granillo, Marquise Jones, Michael Lockhart, and Locke ran a 3:11.59 to provisionally qualify for nationals with the 2nd fastest time in the nation. Erica Kinsey won the triple jump with a mark of 41 feet 1 and 1/2 inches, and the high jump with a jump of 6 feet 3/4 of an inch. Kinsey leads the nation in both of those events. Cole Phillips was the winner of the men's pole vault. He was the only competitor to clear 16 feet 8 inches for the win.
The UCM baseball team split a doubleheader against Southern Arkansas in Magnolia on Friday, February 13th. In the first game, the 9th-ranked Mule Riders jumped out to an early 3-run lead after the first inning. Followed by 4 more runs in the 5th, the Mules were only able to push 1 across the plate in the top of the 6th. The Mules fell in the first game 7-1. But things changed for the Mules in game number 2 as Carlos De Armas and Lucas Williams combined to throw a 2-hit shutout as UCM was able to split the 2-game set with a 1-0 victory. The Mules were back on the diamond the next day in Magnolia as they took on the University of Lincoln. After the Blue Tigers jumped out to a 2-run lead in the 2nd, the Mules responded in the bottom of the 3rd with 3 runs of their own. The Mules added another run in the 5th to preserve a 4-3 win. Jake Heisler picked up his first win of the season as Trevor Easel earned his 3rd save. The Mules are ranked number 22 in the latest America Baseball Coaches Association Collegiate Baseball newspaper poll.
Jennies softball officially kicked off its season February 13th in the Arkansas Monticello Softball Classic in Bentonville, Arkansas. The Jennies went 2-2 on the trip. On day 1, the Jennies lost to Henderson State 7-3 and 5-4 to Northwestern Oklahoma State in 9 innings. UCM made a quick turnaround and had 2 matchups Saturday, February 14th. The Jennies' first opponent was Illinois Springfield, and the Jennies won that one 6-3 behind strong pitching from Katie Shockley, who had a career-high 12 strikeouts. UCM then took on fellow Show Me State team and William Jewell and took down the Cardinals, and it took 8 innings. But the Jennies won 4-3. Jackie Prater also put in a dominating pitching performance in that game, striking out 10 Cardinals. The Jennies were scheduled to play 2 games on Sunday against East Central and Quincy, but both games were canceled due to inclement weather.
Of course, in order to be successful on the court and field, student athletes need lots of support. And at the University of Central Missouri, the Mules and Jennies have just that. One of those supporters is Senior Associate Athletics Director, Kathy Anderson. And for her efforts as a student athlete, coach, and administrator, Anderson was named to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Jason had a chance to catch up with Anderson recently to talk about her career.
Continuing her impressive career as a player, coach, and now administrator, Kathy Anderson was recently inducted in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Anderson, who was part of the inaugural class of both the UCM and MIAA Hall of Fames, didn't see this one coming.
I got a phone call from the executive director, and was just very surprised, very honored, and very happy. I'd been to some of those enshrinements before, and known the magnitude of it, and just very, very proud, and put a smile on my face.
As a three-sport athlete for the Jennies, Anderson was a member of the basketball team, an outfielder for the softball team, and ran track. After graduation, she played internationally with the USA basketball team, was an assistant at Cal State Fullerton, the University of Washington, and in the WNBA. Anderson's experiences have helped her excel as an administrator at UCM.
I hope it's provided me some background and understanding, when I work with coaches, I've been there and I've done that, and I think it provides me a little bit better way maybe to understand and know what they're going through. But it also, I think, allows me to anticipate some things, knowing that this might come up, or, because again, I've been there and I've done that, and hopefully, as they say, they learn from my mistakes, and I can foresee some of those and they don't make them.
Even with her experiences around the world, coming back to UCM was important for Anderson.
Well, it's home, and it's a perfect location for me. But as a student here, I just absolutely loved my college experience here, and to be able to come back on the other side now and hopefully enhance and pay it forward, as they say, pay it forward a little bit. This is home for me, and I'm very, very proud to be a Jenny or Mule, and it's just this is just an institution I'm incredibly proud to be a part of.
When Anderson was inducted in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame Sunday, January 25th, she joined her brother, former Mules and now Missouri head basketball coach Kim Anderson. Anderson was among a star-studded list of inductees, which included MLB players Billy Butler and Chris Carpenter. For UCM Sports Page, I'm Jason Ketz.
That's a look at what's been happening in UCM athletics. When we come back, we'll highlight what else is going on with the Mules and Jennies. We'll take a look at where all our teams are sitting in the conference standings, and we'll preview our upcoming events. Stay tuned. You're watching Sports Page on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS.
I choose to be a champion.
I choose to be inspired.
I choose the perfect fit.
I choose red to experience learning to a greater degree.
Choose red. Choose the University of Central Missouri.
What if news wasn't just a commodity,
but a commitment?
The fiscal cliff is a fiscal suicide.
Why shouldn't we explore every side of the story?
The Syrian army had pulled back.
Where can you turn for news you can trust?
How do we make sense of something like this?
On PBS, we believe journalism should never stop asking questions.
Give to your PBS station and support independent journalism.
We answer to no one but you.
We've updated you on the seasons for our Mules and Jennies.
Now let's take a look at some of the news and notes from around University of Central Missouri athletics. Brianna, what do you have for us?
The University of Central Missouri inducted the 2014-2015 class of the UCM Athletic Hall of Fame. 9 individuals and 1 team made up this year's induction class. Joining the Hall of Fame this season are Nancy Goodwine from the early era and Brianna Caldwell, Corey Kleinfelter, Megan Leonard, Jaron Quincy, Kendall Ricketts, and Delaney Walker from the modern era. Entering the hall in the special recognition category are Myrna Witter and Mike Haggerty. The 2001-2002 Jennies bowling team will be enshrined as well. The annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony was last Saturday, February 14th.
Central Missouri All-American running back LaVance Taylor has signed a contract with the Ottawa Red Blacks of the Canadian Football League. Taylor was a first-team All-MIAA selection for the Mules this season, and he received the All-American honors from four different publications. He led the conference and was third in NCAA Division II with UCM record of 1,918 rushing yards. He also had 15 touchdowns and led the Mules in pass receptions with 38 for 427 yards.
After a 3-week run at the top, the Central Missouri Jennies track and field team fell to a spot at number 2 in the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association rankings. The Mules made a big climb, up from number 13 to number 7. UCM already has 9 student athletes in 19 events who have at least provisionally qualified for the national meet.
Part of the reason for the Mules and Jennies' success is the efforts of Erica Kinsey and Kellen Locke. For their efforts in the Grand Valley Big Meet last week, Kinsey and Locke were named MIAA Women's and Men's Field Athlete of the Week. Locke is a junior from Warrensburg and earned his second MIAA Athlete of the Week honor this season. Kinsey won the honor for the 3rd straight week and the 4th time this year for her efforts in Allendale, Michigan. She is a freshman and a native of Norden, Sweden. Continuing with track and field, former UCM track and field star Kristen Anderson Swisher qualified for the 2016 Olympic trials and the marathon back in January in her current hometown of Houston, Texas. Anderson completed the half marathon in 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 57 seconds at the USA Track and Field Half Marathon Championships. It was her debut at that distance. Athletes can qualify for the Olympic trials based on her half marathon time. Anderson is a 2006 graduate of Central Missouri. She was a 2-time national champion and 5-time NCAA All-American.
That's a look at this week's news and notes from UCM Athletics. Now let's check out the MIAA basketball standings through Wednesday, February 18th. With their 2 wins last week, the Mules are still in front in the MIAA men's basketball standings. UCM is a half game ahead of Northwest Missouri State and Pittsburgh State. Lindenwood sits in 4th place in the league standings, with Nebraska Kearney and Missouri Southern tied for 5th.
Fort Hays State on the women's side remains in 1st place in the conference. The Tigers have clinched a bye in the MIAA tournament, and they are followed by Pittsburgh State, Emporia State, Missouri Southern, and Central Missouri. Washburn and Central Oklahoma are tied for 6th and have also clinched spots in the conference tournament.
Once again, UCM hosted the MIAA Wrestling Championships Sunday at the Multi. Nebraska Kearney claimed the title with 91.5 points. The Lopers were followed by conference regular season champion Lindenwood in 2nd place. Fort Hays State finished 3rd, followed by Central Oklahoma, Central Missouri, and Newman.
The Mules and Jennies basketball teams each have 3 games left in the regular season as they make their final runs at the conference tournament. The Mules wrestling team will next be competing in February 28th when it travels to St. Louis for the NCAA Division II Central Regional.
You have to love this time of year as one group of teams sets its sights on postseason play and another group opens its season. Let's take a look at our upcoming events for Thursday, February 19th through Wednesday, February 25th. The Jennies and Mules basketball teams are back in action Saturday, February 21st to host Southwest Baptist at the Multipurpose Building. Action begins with the women's game at 1:30. The men will follow at 3:30.
The Mules and Jennies track and field teams host the UCM Classic Friday and Saturday at the Multi. Field events begin at 3:30 p.m. with track events to begin at 6.
The Mules baseball team was scheduled for its first home series of the season this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. UCM was slated for 4 MIAA games against Fort Hays State, but Mother Nature had other ideas. Because of snow and expected cold temperatures, UCM played a doubleheader today and will play a doubleheader Friday, February 20th. First pitch is slated for 1 p.m. at Larks Park in Hays. UCM entered the week at 4-3.
Jennies softball took its 2-2 record to St. Cloud, Minnesota for 5 games in 2 days. The Jennies played Minnesota State Mankato and St. Cloud State earlier today and take on Concordia St. Paul tonight at 9. Friday, the Jennies face Augustana out of South Dakota at 5 p.m. and Wayne State of Nebraska at 7 p.m.
That's a look at the upcoming games. You can log on to UCMathletics.com to check scores and stats from all this week's games. And a reminder, you can watch the Mules and Jennies home basketball games against Southwest Baptist on Stretch Internet. Just go to UCMathletics.com, log on to respective UCM Athletics schedule, click on video, and follow the prompts.
Viewers in Warrensburg, Clinton, Knob-Noster, and Sedalia can also watch a replay of Saturday's basketball doubleheader against Southwest Baptist Monday on our sister station, UCM-TV Charter Channel 989, Channel 12-6 if you have a digital tuner. The Jennies game will be replayed at 6 p.m. with the Mules game to follow immediately after.
And of course, be sure to tune in to Sports Page each week. We'll bring you game recaps, keep you up to date on the MIAA standings, and we'll feature the story of student athletes, coaches, and other staff here at UCM. For this week's edition of Sports Page, I'm Brianna Blocker.
I'm Jason Katz.
And I'm Benjamin Eaton. Thanks for watching Sports Page on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. See you next week.
Support for Sports Page is provided by Union Station, Crossroads to Technology, a one-stop shopping source for technology needs, campus-compatible computers, software for Mac and PCs, and much more. Located on campus on the lower floor of the Elliott Union in Warrensburg. Union Station, Crossroads to Technology. And promotional support for Sports Page is provided by 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of University of Central Missouri Athletics.